Masters to School the Masses. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 111 of the Scholars Wrestling Show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my left is Scholar Tarek.
Oh, my head. What a Wrestlemania hangover I have.
And to my other left is Scholar Brian.
Last year, it was a pleasant hangover. This year, it's a little nasty.
Yeah, it's like, this year, not very well a hangover.
Hey, speak for yourself.
It's
pretty
bad that I still have it. I still have it.
The weekend itself started off as a happy, joy hangover. Just dancing along, not a care in the world. And then it hits you really hard Sunday night. And you wake up Monday morning just, oh.
Okay, but you know that, before we get to all that, I think in the spirit of what just happened at the beginning of the weekend, I think we need to talk a little bit about NXT before we get to the fallout of WrestleMania and the night after, rather.
Oh, gee. Let's talk about the event that was 100 times better than WrestleMania.
That actually had me so amped up that I pulled an all-nighter into late Saturday evening.
Well, I didn't pull an all-nighter, but I did stay up until like 4 in the morning because I was just so pumped of energy because of how awesome NXT TakeOver Dallas was.
We're outside where we were at, and we're vibrating around by our cars. Like, we don't want to go home, but we just...
Okay, here's how it was for me. I was getting ready, all set to watch TakeOver. I knew I had to be... I saw it started late, and I'm like, okay, I'll just see this one certain match, and then... Because I gotta be up early the next morning. So, it's like, whatever time it was, I'm getting all ready to go to sleep. I'm not starting to nod off, and then all of a sudden, it happened.
Sean Stasiak returned.
I am going to slap you, but I'm not going to slap you because you can't slap someone on radio.
Sure you can!
I stand corrected.
That's right, I pulled a little dandy on you. How does it feel?
You know what? I'm going to let that slide.
Sean Stasiak. There's a throwback.
Planet
But you know what?
Meat!
But you know what? It's okay, because I got Christmas in April. That's what I got. It was Christmas morning. I sent my wish list over to Santa Claus. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get me what I asked for. And then at about, 11 o'clock at night?
About.
Yeah, I got exactly what I wanted. Shinsuke Nakamura in NXT being Shinsuke Nakamura. Sure, they renamed his finisher. Okay. They gave him new music. That's fine. Everything else, totally preserved. I love every second of this. I loved it so much. I was so happy. I'll be honest, I was fighting back tears.
His match with Sami Zayn was art.
I'm calling it right now. This is match of the year.
Yep.
I said, you're going to have to do a lot to get this out of my match of the year.
Yeah,
you're going to have to do a
match,
lot.
Yeah, this is all... Hell, I even tweeted that.
Yes.
Immediately after the match ended and him and Sami Zayn left. I'm just like, match of the year right now. That's it.
Like,
you have to do something huge.
We're sitting there in awe, in silence during this match. Until certain parts where, you have
to go,
kicks,
oh!
Yeah.
When Sami Zayn goes for his between the rope DDT and gets kicked directly in the jaw. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh!
Should not have done that.
You can't even put your hands up. That's directly in your jaw. I'm surprised he didn't break his face. But that's it. But
it's okay.
And Sami Zayn sold his kicks like a drunken man about to pass out. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Just when he kicked him in the face, when Shinsuke kicked him in the face, and he's staggering to the ring, to the rope. To the ring ropes, and then just falls down. Like, I'm just gonna take a nap right here. Bam. I'm like, this was a thing of beauty. You want to talk about a 5-star match? This is the epitome
And you know what the really crazy part is? This is typical for Nakamura pay-per-view.
For people who weren't sold, are you entertained now?
Yeah, the whole time I was like, yes, I told you, I knew it all along. I was like, it was just like total vindication. So good.
And really, yeah, this match was just so perfect. But the whole event as a whole was just that. It was perfect for me.
Yeah,
this was hands down my event of the year so far.
Easy.
There was no match that I got bored. Every single match that I was watching, I was on the edge of my seat. I was having the time of my life. Oh my God, I didn't want the event to end.
Yeah.
The only downfall was was all the stoppages in the main event for the blood, and I was like, Samoa Joe is gonna get fined so much money because he's about to lay out these doctors and this ref.
I agree.
He's about to lay them out hard, and there were points of this match where I'm like, this is real shit right now. Like when he chucked Finn Balor over the barricade, I was like, that was rough. I think there was legit anger in that toss.
He tried to headbutt a Samoan. You don't do that.
Yeah, and then they played that moment when his eye got busted open in slow-mo. Damn, they were definitely leveling each other. They were not holding back. They were stiff punching each other. That whole match was stiff.
Well, hey, that's how you can. They did go on the same card as the King of Strong Style, so how do you counter that? More Strong Style.
And that definitely was my number 2 match. Even though, yes, it did have the doctors continuously stop it, which, yes, it pissed everyone off. But
I don't know.
It also added character to the match.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't really mind it as much.
I minded it at first, and then when Samoa Joe looked like he was going to kill doctors and referees, I was like, okay, I'm in, I'm locked in. And when the doctors would be roaming around the ring with the towel, I was like, you better get out of there, man.
And hell, let's see, Asuka winning the women's title.
That's Asuka.
Yeah, I know. I just do it to piss you off.
I was honest.
Nerds.
I was honestly a little surprised. But not in a bad way.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that people were surprised.
I don't care.
That was a match where I didn't really care who won. I just thought that possibly Bayley would hold on and they'd like extend the feud a little bit more. But hey, Bayley will get a rematch. She'll lose, and then she'll be up to the main roster. So
exactly.
The weakest match of the match
was Aries versus Corbin.
Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin. But even so, even if that was the weakest match, it was still
it
entertaining.
was good.
Exactly.
It was still good.
But yeah, I'm gonna just flat out say it. NXT TakeOver is my event of the year. It's gonna have to take. There's something that's gonna have to take a lot to dethrone that event. I'm gonna pull what you guys do. Goat faces all around. Let the goats out. Balls to the wall. Insane. NXT TakeOver took over the WrestleMania weekend for me.
All my beards, all my goats just got Kinshasa Need out of the stratosphere, and yow. Beard rating, sir?
Beard rating? Oh, come on. Full goat face. Like, the goats are coming out.
I actually thought he was going to mess with us and actually say full beard on that one.
Full goat face, like ZZ Top goat face. Like, straight down to the floor, goat face. Open up the barn, the goats are coming.
They should rename it. Instead of WrestleMania weekend, it should just be NXT TakeOver weekend.
Nakamura, give me the Formuloli.
Like, this didn't end till 12:30. And
the night was still young for me.
The night was still young. It was like, I'm so amped up right now because of this. I could go run around the track 50 times and be fine.
Yeah, I was just in like a happy floating bliss the entire day afterward. I was like, yeah, Nakamura is real.
Hell, I watched the event again the next day.
So did I.
So did I.
It's
Because I watched it like 3 times.
I watched the event again the night after because I had to show my friends.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. I was like, you think WrestleMania is going to be good because they're casuals.
Yeah.
All right, they don't know. But you think WrestleMania is going to be good. You got to check out what I watched last night.
If you think WrestleMania is going to be good, then I'm afraid I got some bad news.
It got overshadowed by NXT.
And I guess with that, we should slowly transition into WrestleMania.
Yes. Although, let me just leave it with this.
Okay.
As if last Friday wasn't proof enough, if Nakamura is still on the NXT roster, by the time SummerSlam comes around, we're getting takeover tickets. I don't care if I'm the only one who goes. I don't care if I'm just in the cheap seats. I will just get like a telescope and I'll just like hang off the roof.
Hey Jeff, you're not the only one that's gonna go.
Really? Who else?
You're looking at 2 guys
I
who are
keyed
more
you,
than
I
willing to
keyed
go.
you.
Damn you!
As soon as they announce tickets, we're getting them. Boom.
Boom shaka.
I think they did release SummerSlam tickets, but I don't know if they released any NXT tickets
They didn't.
yet.
I already looked.
Oh, you looked? Okay.
Yeah, I looked like weeks ago.
Okay.
But yeah,
Didn't they just release SummerSlam this past week?
I
Or
think
last week?
I think they did the pre-release, and I think they're going to be
That's it.
releasing more over time.
That's what they did.
But still, I definitely want to catch something this summer.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah.
Anyway, but that's this summer. Next up, we need to go through WrestleMania 32.
This is going to be pretty.
Now, for the sake of this go-around, let's establish some ground rules. Obviously, since there's so much to cover, we're not going to go into great detail over every single particular match. And I don't think we particularly care to. So, as we go through each match, in the order we covered them last week, mind you, if you don't want to talk about it, if you've got nothing to say, for whatever reason, Brian, what are you going to say?
Shit!
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just hit the shit switch, and then we'll just be done with it, and we'll just move on, and then that'll be that. Alright, so, first match in the order that we covered it last week, Kalisto versus Ryback.
Which turned out to be the very first match, surprisingly.
Shit.
It was a thing.
I really wouldn't say it was shit. It was just...
I know, I'm just saying shit because I want
it was just a typical match.
We could have watched this on Raw, and it would have been fun.
Their World Heavyweight title tournament match was the better match.
Definitely.
In my opinion.
I didn't hate watching it, but it was a match.
I'm just surprised it was the first match when not even 20% of the crowd was in the stadium.
Well, yeah,
that's probably why.
Granted, it also was something happened and people couldn't get in.
Yeah, apparently there was only one to a certain level of the building. There was only one way that you could get up to that level of the area of the arena. So people were being congested. A couple people fainted. It was a mess, and a lot of people were really, really pissed off on Twitter. But anyway, that's not the match.
You could see it when they did backstage shots for the crowd during the pre-show, in between like promos and matches and stuff. You could see all the people congregating in that one area.
Mm-hmm.
So
one thing I liked was Ronaldo pointing out, it's like a filled stadium. Looks around when everyone gets in. I was like, nice, that's awesome.
That's a nice. Michael Cole would have said it's a full stadium, and then everybody would be, no, it's really not.
Oh, I got something to say about Michael Cole, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, honestly, we're gonna be here all day if we go over every single little thing. One thing I do want to talk about a little bit is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I like the result of this.
This could work. Okay?
Baron Corbin winning?
As I said, this is your last chance, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Baron Corbin must go on and do something legitimately awesome, legitimate during this upcoming year, or else I'm not gonna care next year. This is where it comes. You've given it to a brand new talent. Casuals that haven't watched NXT have never seen this guy before, and you give him the win. Who did he eliminate last?
Kane. Mm-hmm.
His debut is eliminating Kane to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He has to win. He has to be fighting for titles by WrestleMania next year in order for me to give a damn about this Battle Royal anymore. This was typical Battle Royal, basically.
I have two things to note with this Battle Royal. One, what the hell was Shaq doing there?
Celebrity appearance. I hated it.
You get a celebrity appearance. You get an older wrestler appearance.
And that leads me to my number 2. God damn it, WWE. Why eliminate Sandow so quickly?
Especially when he got a pop.
He got a huge pop, and that's something I've been saying for the past few months. They can take him off TV for a long time. The minute he shows back up, it's like he never left.
And didn't he get eliminated by Shaq?
Exactly. Yeah. And then the people just didn't care until Baron Corbin won.
Yeah.
And even then, they didn't care that much.
Well,
they weren't going.
The only thing is, I cared because and now it jumped him to the main roster, and right now he had a pretty decent match beatdown with Dolph Ziggler. Hopefully this is going to lead to what you said earlier, Brian. Hopefully lead to him going for a title by next WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Or was it the title you said?
No, I'm not going that far.
I'm like, just a title?
A title.
Okay. But yeah, it was for what it was okay.
It was tolerable. You know what else is tolerable? A giant box of Bootios. New Day versus League of Nations. Awesome entrance. Didn't really care for the match.
Awesome entrance. Shit.
Awesome entrance. I'm gonna go with Brian. Shit. Awesome ending. Did not see that coming. All of a sudden, Shawn Michaels comes out, and not just that. We're all asking, is he wearing ring gear?
Shawn Michaels in ring gear.
And then all of a sudden,
Skinny
crash.
McFoley.
And then crash. Skinny McFoley. And then all of a sudden,
complete with jeans, the Dallas 316 t-shirt, and knee pads. And that's when you knew it was going down.
The best thing that I saw after was, those pictures of Seth Rollins having those weird facial reactions?
Yes.
You saw that I posted it on Facebook.
Perfect.
I'm sorry, those reactions and what was said, it's like, is that Shawn Michaels in ring gear? Oh, it's Foley. Glass breaks. I'm just like, this has to be the best picture I've ever seen because it is so true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I miss Seth Rollins.
He's coming back.
In
the meantime, all the new NXT call-ups get some time to shine.
But yeah, and
that ain't bad.
And so,
I will say, and Stone Cold, Mick Foley, and Shawn Michaels saved that segment. And just seeing Stone Cold dancing with Xavier Woods, then Stone Cold stunning him.
That was the second most excited I got the entire show.
Seconded.
And before we move on completely, can we just gush a minute, speaking of NXT call-ups? Enzo and Cass. They're finally there.
Yes.
Oh, and they're starting a program with the Dudleys.
Oh, they're going
over. That is just perfect pairing.
And they showed their skill. Both of them have skills on the mic. Neither of them screwed up once.
Yes. Big Cass improved so much since I started watching him. He's still not Enzo, but no one else really is.
It seems like you don't like what he's saying. So why don't you come down to the ring and do something about it? He's 7 feet tall. That's all he needs to say.
Teach that.
Let Enzo Amore be the chatterbox, and you just be the intimidating. Come down here and do something about it, guy.
Yeah, it honestly was a distant second as far as top debuts of the weekend went.
Yeah.
But again, I digress. In the meantime, I believe we have a certain outcome from a certain Intercontinental title match.
I'm going to punch you in the face, fool.
Why?
I hate you right now.
Allow me to formally eat crow. Because Jeff did say that Zack Ryder would win.
Is no one going to answer that phone?
This match.
Is no one going to answer that phone? Because I called it.
Oh.
Well,
however, shitty decision.
Don't care, still counts.
Shitty decision.
Well,
and I laughed so hard the night after. I laughed really hard.
And it's like, and this win meant absolutely nothing because he did lose it the next night, and then he loses the rematch on SmackDown. So
this was legitimately okay. Zack Ryder gets a feel-good moment at WrestleMania, and then the WWE smacks him back down to superstars.
You were there. You saw my face the second he grabbed that belt. My jaw dropped. I got so angry. I went on a very, very small Twitter rant saying, "What a way for WWE to take a huge shit on the Intercontinental title."
I would have been fine.
I'm still standing by that statement.
I would have been fine.
I disagree. It's
would
not the worst move they could have made. At least there was some build to that.
Yeah, I would have been perfectly fine if Maurice had debuted at WrestleMania.
Pourquoi?
And stopped Zack Ryder from climbing the ladder while Miz is sitting up there like a fucking moron.
So pretty much you would switch them because Miz was on the top being the smug ass and Zack Ryder pushes him off.
I would have Zack Ryder. I would have Zack Ryder be climbing up. This woman comes over to the barricade and just gets in the ring and grabs his leg. You look down, it's Maurice, and you're like, what?
In the butt.
Indeed. and then the Miz
don't pull that reference out.
I don't need to do it. Once is enough.
And then the Miz goes up and gets the title. If you're not gonna have the feud with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn be for the Intercontinental title, it made more sense to me to give it to the guy who had been wanting a shot since the beginning of the build.
Apparently they're not even going to do that now because from what happened with Sami Zayn, apparently he got re-hurt, his shoulder's hurt again. Now he's out for 6 months.
But here's the deal though. He was at SmackDown. He was distracting Kevin Owens. He was the reason why their team lost.
Interesting.
So
the whole situation with Sami Zayn is such a toss right now because I'm hearing so much different stuff.
Yeah, the only thing that is basically confirmed is that he did hurt his shoulder. They just don't know because I don't think if it was a major injury they would have had Kevin Owens beat the crap out of him in the back and powerbomb him through a table after he did it.
That is true.
So after the injury occurred, so
hey, we got Cesaro back for that.
We'll see. We'll see on Raw. If he's on Raw, then it's all it was just a red herring.
The only thing now I'm gonna have to ask, where does the Miz go from here with that belt?
I don't know, but if it gives
some sort of power couple thing with Maurice, just Maurice being there gravitates more eyes to the Miz, makes him more relevant. Maybe they'll actually do something with him.
I have a suggestion.
Listening.
Have Miz have a revamped feud with our intellectual savior Damian Sandow. Only now it's not the stunt double, it's not Macho Mandow, it's not the guy who changes gimmicks every week. It is the return of the intellectual savior, but he's now a babyface, and he uses that against The Miz. He first says, yes, you helped me when I was in a bad place, but it turned out I'm a much bigger star than you will ever be. And he'll then use his intellectual saviorness.
I knew you were going to say that.
I couldn't think of anything else.
I'd say
to outsmart The Miz and be like, show you're nothing more than just you may have been here for 10 years, but you're still looked at as a ex-reality TV star that no one wants around. And then Miz will obviously go, well, I main evented WrestleMania. You have nothing to say to me. I am the guy who went in as champion at WrestleMania, and I came out as champion. And then Sandow will be like, pull a scholar on him and be like, that may be true, but you're the only one that keeps mentioning that you were in the main event at WrestleMania when everyone else thinks about your opponent and a man who wasn't even in the match. What? You were just the third wheel to a bigger story. That would add fuel to their feud.
I would say yes to that,
but it's too good because it's too good for WWE.
No, I'm saying build up the power couple first.
I'll go.
Give them a couple months, just defending the Intercontinental title, and then bring Sandow in. Because Sandow brings that into it. Sandow needs to win. Okay.
That'll be a good way to reintroduce Sandow, because it's like we said before in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, he was the biggest pop of that match.
But I'll say yes to Sandow, but not yet.
I'll give you that.
I'm on board with this entire idea. Just I want to include one extra little thing.
If you say Zack Ryder, I'm going to deck you.
I'm not going to say Zack Ryder anymore. No, in all seriousness.
Nope, lost the rematch tonight.
No,
done.
No, in all somewhat seriousness, I wonder if Damien Sandow would need some sort of female sidekick to sort of counteract the Maurice effect. So I'm thinking if we can introduce the intellectual saviorette of the masses, Blue Pants.
Isn't Blue Pants like? Didn't she leave WWE on bad terms?
No, she's like taking like random appearances. Just hire Leva Bates for a weekend.
I swear, I thought she was like in a bad place with WWE. That's why they're not going to ask her back.
If she is, I only heard that it was just like with some of the other ladies who were working there. I don't know, or just call up one of the NXT girls. I don't know.
But I do like your idea, adding that it has to happen later.
Yeah,
and he'll use that as being like, I'm the star, and there is no one who is better at being a star than I am, and that will reintroduce Sandow. It's like I was a better star. I may have been your stunt double, but I was the one getting all the appearances. Basically, continue with the feud that ended on such a downgrade because it had potential, and then they just toss it aside because they're stupid.
And by the by, Maurice is going to be around for a while because she was confirmed that she's going to be a total diva.
I'm cool with that. I love the hair flip.
I actually didn't know that.
So it was confirmed earlier today.
It's like, that would be an interesting story if I actually gave a damn.
Yeah.
I kind of do.
I kind of do because it's Maurice.
Oh, it's not nothing against Maurice. It's against Total Divas.
No. Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying the story confirms that she's actually like going to be around for a while. It's not just It's not just a couple time deal.
I'm cool with that. Now going from Total Divas to, I got nothing for this. It's the better women's match.
Oh, better women's match. Okay.
Oh, I guess we're just tossing that Total Divas match into just shit. Moving on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Much.
Get it out.
Good. Yeah. All I can say is Lana looked great. Just damn that suit, that outfit, man.
Anyway, damn. The women's championship match, finally a new belt.
This was match of the night for me.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
Yeah. This was the only match that I actually got invested in, to be perfectly honest.
I got invested in 3 of them. This is one of them. Obvious match of the night. The best women's match in the WWE since Trish and Lita.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Possibly Trish and Mickey WrestleMania.
Are you talking like WWE main roster stuff?
Yes.
I was gonna say now we're looking back to NXT.
Main roster.
Okay, main roster. Okay.
When I say WWE, I mean WWE, not NXT. I count NXT as its own
Parent company.
No, I count NXT as its own
separate entity.
Okay.
Because if NXT was I refuse to believe that NXT will one day be bought down by its WWE parent company. So I say that it's an entity all its own.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I second that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this was an awesome match.
Yeah.
I loved everything about it.
Again, this was great.
The Charlotte winning was a little bit surprising, but after that,
well, I really after
the
don't.
Match, the
not
rest of
for
the match,
me.
When I thought about yeah.
Okay.
Just to finish the thought, I was really surprised. I was still pulling for Sasha, but you know what? After thinking about it, it's fine. Everyone looked great, both in appearance wise and wrestling wise, and it sort of keeps Charlotte going as this big, indomitable heel.
What I find awkward though, the night after, okay, it seems I like the choice of opponent. Okay, I just find it funny that all of a sudden, like, Becky and Sasha aren't involved.
It is a very weird. But I will say this. Going back to the match, you moved to Raw. I'm going back. I don't know who said this. It was while we were watching. Someone said, "Oh, Sasha Banks has someone performing her entrance. That's an automatic loss." Because when you think of someone performing your entrance at WrestleMania, they always lose. From Triple H to Bray Wyatt.
I went by the entrance deal that I said, but then everybody came out with an extravagant entrance for the Triple Threat Women's match. So I was like, okay, that's out. And then I thought about it, and then I was like, oh, but she had Snoop Dogg singing her rap in her entrance. Yeah, Sasha's out. That's it.
I wouldn't say Becky had a very extravagant entrance. She had her entrance just at a WrestleMania stage.
I just feel like everything was bigger.
I love Charlotte's Ric Flair robes.
Yeah, that was a nice touch.
That was awesome. I actually stood up for that one. I'm like,
yeah.
Clap.
This match was full of win.
This was the saving grace for me in this whole event.
Oh yeah, big time. I think we can all agree that match of the night. Nothing more to say. Moving on. Now on this list here, the next match I have up for coverage is Triple H versus Roman Reigns. Personally, I'm dubbing this one a shit.
Well, we kind of have to talk about it because it's the title match.
I honestly didn't even see it.
I know you fell asleep.
He left.
That. You left, and
I left. Then I fell asleep.
Here's the. This was a thing. It was there. Was it a worse main event than Triple H versus Randy Orton at 25? I don't think so. But okay, it's not what you want as the main event of apparently your biggest show ever. Okay, and it was like what, 12 minutes long.
It was for a title match. It was relatively short.
It was relatively short. It looked for a second to me like Roman Reigns had actually like separated his shoulder, like his shoulder had actually popped out, because he's running around doing his Superman punches and spearing, and his left arm is just kind of shaking in the breeze over there. And then he gets up and he's fine. So my first comment after the spear was like, oh, I guess the spear popped his shoulder back in. Convenient. Because it was... This, you went in expecting it was going to be shit. Okay? We all did. Triple H versus Roman Reigns. Nobody wanted to see it. Okay? The fact that it went on as the main event was an abomination in the first place. And just... I like that they're kind of going the cocky dick route
With
that
Roman
he
Reigns?
went with Roman Reigns the next day. I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy. I was like, oh, are they really?
And people just booed harder.
Is this no? I mean, like, are they really do? Are they turning him into a dick? Please do.
There was one thing that I've read, and one big discussion that I have with a friend of ours, and from how all the pieces fit together, it actually fit together quite perfectly. First, I read that this match. I can be perfectly honest. I didn't watch it live either. I actually left because I wasn't a huge fan of this WrestleMania. I'm gonna just flat out say it, and I'll save my rating. I'll save that for my rating. But I did watch this match because it was the only match I didn't watch, and it was a very big mess. And before this is just me giving a reaction to the match before I'm going on what I want to say. Triple H tried to do like chain wrestling, and Roman Reigns looked like he was lost. It looked like Triple H was trying to guide him, and Roman was just like tripping over his own shoes. But that being said, moving on to the next night on Raw, yeah, he's starting to pull on that little dickish move. I'm not the good guy. I'm not a bad guy, but I am the guy. And people are actually looking at this as Triple H, quote unquote, passing the torch to Roman Reigns. And now that the fact that they're actually having Roman Reigns face, quote unquote, internet darlings, and because we all know AJ Styles is not gonna.
Yeah, he's not going to get booed.
It looks like it's
out of your mind?
Not even just that he's going to get booed. I don't think AJ Styles is winning the title.
No, it's not happening.
So it's going to be Roman Reigns pretty much pulling a Triple H with what he did with the WCW guys back in the day, where he's facing a bunch of guys and basically destroying. I won't say bury them, but it's going to be like to that where he's just basically showing I'm the WWE guy. I'm taking your internet darlings and I'm stomping them over my foot. And that added more puzzle pieces when I talked with our friend. I'm just going to say it was Dave. Yeah. That Seth Rollins is going to be coming back as the face to stand up to Roman Reigns. And it made me point out, I'm like, oh my God. And Seth Rollins is the more charismatic than him and Roman Reigns. Oh my God. I've been going at this all wrong. When I looked at like Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns as like The Rock, Stone Cold, and Triple H, I was 100% wrong. It turns out, going back to the whole passing of the torch thing, Roman Reigns is becoming the Triple H, the new Triple H, and Seth Rollins is the new Rock. He was the corporate champion. He did have a memorable feud with Dean Ambrose. Now that he is now the Mick Foley of the new generation, and he had a great feud with that. Oh my God, Seth Rollins is now Rock, Roman Reigns is now Triple H, and it actually fits perfectly.
It actually kind of does now that you explained it, and now that I did not think AJ Styles was going to win that match. I thought that they were going to have Jericho go over. And they were going to attempt, the Jericho heel. He's going to go out and try to get Reigns over as a face. But now apparently, according to spoilers for SmackDown, Ambrose and Jericho did a stare down. So I'm like, oh, so are they going into the Jericho and Ambrose that we've been waiting for since it came back? So, but this is interesting, because it's bringing up several things, It's bringing up what you just said. A lot of people online think that Seth Rollins will come back, AJ Styles, and will bring in the Bullet Club, and they'll have a Bullet Club versus Shield thing.
That I actually didn't hear about. I didn't hear about that.
I was like, that would be cool, but there's a whole bunch of possibilities now. The match itself at WrestleMania, okay, wasn't good, wasn't horrible. I didn't actively hate myself for watching it, but it's not what you want for the main event of WrestleMania.
Oh, I will. I forgot to say, with what you said about is it better than like Triple H and Randy Orton, I actually do think Triple H and Randy Orton was the better match. The only real thing that was down about it is that the crowd was dead from the other matches beforehand.
And I think that's worse. I think that's worse.
But when it
comes
to match quality,
it
was a good match.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Unlike with Roman Reigns and Triple H, which I think was a bit of a mess. And at that point, the crowd was dead too because of what happened with Shane McMahon and Taker and Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar. And we'll get to those matches after this. But it's also a time when we don't care about Triple H and Roman Reigns. So that even adds more fuel to the flame of that one. This match actually takes it as one of the worst and main events for WrestleMania.
Nothing beats Taylor versus Bigelow, but
that's why I said one of them.
This is basic. This is not what anybody wanted out of a main event of WrestleMania. That's why everyone was trying to persuade the WWE, don't do it. Have the Triple H versus Roman Reigns match, but don't have it as the main event of your show. You're gonna get booed out of the building. Guess what? They did.
I do like that sign that's like, "Don't mute us. We paid for this."
Yeah.
I love that sign.
I didn't even see that sign.
Yeah, that was a good sign. I like that.
Very nice.
And Jeff, you were just staying clear out of this conversation.
I have nothing to say.
He said shit.
Care.
He did say shit.
I have nothing to add.
Yeah.
I actually missed that he said shit.
He did say shit.
I missed it. Oh,
there
you go. Now I heard it.
I said we should talk about it. He said no shit.
Well, that's what you and I are doing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we want to touch upon Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar since we're talking about show stuff.
This was a disappointment.
This was the biggest letdown of the whole night. This match, A, it was short. B, nothing happened. Really.
This is when
they continuously They teased us.
Yeah, they did.
They teased us. They teased us with both the chainsaw and Barbie. None were used in this match. This match was. I'm gonna have to say this, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for this. I'm actually tired of Suplex City. It's now a gimmick that's kind of run its course.
It's a drinking game now.
Is this all that Brock Lesnar is now? Just how many suplexes can the man do in one match?
You know what Suplex City is now? It's a drinking game.
It
is.
I'll even say
much,
that. Yeah. And they used it at Dean Ambrose's expense, and now Dean Ambrose is at the point where we're saying Bray Wyatt is. Oh, we should talk about that later. Just a quick glance on the whole thing with Bray Wyatt. But yeah, Dean Ambrose is in the same position. He keeps getting put in these big matches to lose.
And it's like, I think I can honestly say that I think he was buried.
I can see how you would think that.
Because I'm like, here's my problem. Okay, it was 11 minutes long. Okay, Dean Ambrose got his spots in.
He got very little offense.
One F5, and he's done. I was like, one F5. Yeah, it was on a bunch of chairs, but I'm like, come on, it's a street fight. You're really gonna end it after the first? This is when my interest started to wane, and I started to turn my head to the other TV, which is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Or with the other event that was
going
on.
Yeah, you told me
night.
about this.
That is when my interest started to wane in WrestleMania, because I was just like, this was the match you were looking forward to. Yeah. This is the match that I was most looking forward to, and it was a disappointing. Like, it was disappointing, and did I really care who won? Not really, but give me something more than basically an 11-minute squash.
I will even second that. Yeah, that F5 throughout the entire feud. Brock Lesnar's been getting Dean Ambrose F5 after F5 after F5, and guess what? He's been coming back. It's like, oh, please, sir, I want some more.
Can we have some more?
That's what he's been doing, and it takes one F5 and it's over. Yeah, granted, the whole other than the Divas Triple Threat, I was slowly losing interest in this event. This one, I think our host said it best. Like when he was going into, we were going into Shane and Taker. Because of what happened with Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose, I have a bad feeling about Shane versus Taker, and yeah, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth knowing that this whole thing, show how the endurance of Dean Ambrose was for nothing.
Yeah, because you're showcasing the endurance of this guy. He's getting up after F5s and getting beaten down and calling out Brock Lesnar, and all it takes is one. Yeah, it was on a bunch of chairs, but come on, dude.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to sell this guy as a real tough guy.
This was just weird.
I didn't like this. I didn't like this at all. I was very upset.
For what we were expecting, this is not.
Yeah,
what we were expecting and what we were built up for, with how this storyline was going, biggest letdown of the night.
And this was the night. This was the point where my interest started to wane, and I'm normally locked in. On WrestleMania, not this year.
Yeah, and finally, last but not least, we've got Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker. This one was just,
It was slow. It had really one huge moment.
You know what?
And it was a pretty huge moment, though.
I gotta say, okay, I expected what we got coming in. Okay, because I did say if it's not the main event, then expect Taker to win.
That pretty much was, yeah.
So it wasn't the main event. I expected that Taker was gonna win. I expected that Shane McMahon was gonna do something. I thought that the coast to coast was gonna be it. But when he pointed up to the top of the cage, I was like, dude.
Before we even go there. That coast to coast was insane. He looked like he was gonna overshoot Taker.
Yeah,
he got distance with that jump.
You know what?
To be fair,
if Shane McMahon wanted to go, if Shane McMahon wanted to wrestle a little bit, he could. I think if he keeps he's in very good shape.
He's in awesome shape.
He's in very good shape.
That 6-pack the Go Home show?
Yeah.
My God.
If he wanted to go for a little bit, he could go. Okay, this match for me, okay, there were 3 matches where I was locked in. Okay. Up until a certain point in this match, I was locked in on it. Okay? And then the climbs started happening on one TV, and the lineup started happening on the other. And I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Honestly, am I the only one who didn't really care too much about the dive?
I
just because
it's something where you know what's gonna happen. You know he took too long. You know he's gonna miss. Okay, but it's just
the fact that
for me, it's the fact that a 46-year-old man had the balls to actually go up there and do it. That was what happened. That was what it was for me. I was like, it's like, look at the balls on this man.
It was pretty
you
much
know
that.
He's gonna miss. You know he's gonna miss.
You know what? I understand that, but it just didn't work for me because I knew he was just gonna land on something that would break his fall. I knew they wouldn't take a chance on Shane's safety really, really being at that big of a risk. I've seen this before. He's done it before. Sure, he was younger, but even so, I knew the spot was coming, and I just found it difficult to get invested, especially when I knew what the trick was behind it. It's like seeing a really cool magic trick. Sure, the magic trick hasn't changed, but you've seen it before, and you know how it works. So to me, a lot was lost in that moment.
It was just, what really was getting me about it was, we all know that they actually raised the ceiling of the cell, so now it was a lot higher. Granted, Shane has jumped from a higher position, like, oh my god, higher position. Mm-hmm. Like, how is he still alive? Higher position. So, but still, it's just the fact, oh my god, like this, Taker has seen a guy he's thrown a guy off.
He's never actually had
he's
someone...
He's chokeslammed a guy off. Granted, it was to a truck of hay. And now he had to witness a man jump off to try and elbow drop him.
Normally for me, okay, in my eyes, it would be like, normally Taker's the one doing the damage. Like, he's chokeslamming people through the top of the cell. He's throwing people off the cell. I'm like, when it's a 46-year-old man facing Taker, and he's willing to take that risk, that's where I'm going with it. I don't care that it was something that was going to break his fall. I don't care that it was an easily breakable table, because that thing broke like silly putty.
That thing exploded.
Yeah. So I'm just like, look, for me it was like, look at the balls on this man. You want to talk about grapefruits. Vince, you have been overtaken by the grapefruits of Shane McMahon. And then the storyline doesn't even make sense in the first place, because he comes out on Raw the next night and gives him Raw for the night anyway.
Yeah, it's sloppy.
I'm like, what?
It's just like, oh, you think you can upstage me? Huh? You think you can upstage me? You think you can take control of a Raw? You know what? Fine. You can have the night. You can have this Raw. See what you'll see it's a disaster. Your Raws are a disaster. Blah, 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 blah. That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Come on,
and then
man.
Shane is just like, that's right, I'm in control of Raw. It's like, I knew this the whole time. Dun, 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 dun. Look at the camera. But then he just came to realize, I had to jump off a cell for this. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, whatever.
Okay, I'm still in control of Raw.
But even
and I bring back Cesaro, so golf clap.
Again, thankfully, there were so many returns and NXT call-ups that, you know what, I was willing to look past that. And you know what? At this point, fair trade, really. Right. I just don't even care that much about WrestleMania, this year's WrestleMania anyway.
So let's move on to facial hair ratings. What do we give it?
I'm going to say, as far as pay-per-views go, I'm going to be generous and say classic goatee. 3 out of 5, just because there was a lot to it. But again, as far as a regular show and WrestleManias in general, I'm going to have to go with Peach Fuzz.
I don't consider WrestleMania a normal show, so compared to other WrestleManias, there was stuff here for me to like. We didn't go over Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles, but for me that was good. But for me that was good too. And I said on that one, if Chris Jericho is staying, expect
I'm very
expect
surprised
to win.
with that.
So AJ Styles got the pin the next night to become the number 1 contender. So I'm like, okay, they traded off and now we're done. So, and now that we can move on. But there wasn't enough for me to like to get it to a classic goatee. So I agree with Jeff. In the realm of WrestleManias, this is definitely a Peach Fuzz.
Fool?
I'm just giving this review in general. WrestleManias and all that. The one thing that definitely hurt this WrestleMania is that this was the very first WrestleMania that I actually walked out on before the event ended.
Me too.
That's hard to say. Well, and for that alone, it takes my worst event of the year so far. And just because it's WrestleMania and you're supposed to be so proud to be a wrestling fan around this time of year, but watching this event made me not.
Well, then again, it was also a 5-hour show, which
I didn't even care about the time, really. it was just the quality of the show itself that was getting me down.
It was a slog too.
And I'm gonna have there was 3 moments that actually saved this event for me, which I'm gonna give my rating in all, I'm gonna third with you guys, and I'm giving it a peach fuzz. But that's me being very, very generous. And it was just these 3 moments. One, the triple threat match, which we talked about. One was Austin, Shawn Michaels, and Mick Foley coming out. We talked about that. And third was Bray Wyatt confronting The Rock.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened.
And it was The Rock putting over Bray Wyatt. He wasn't insulting Bray Wyatt. He's just like, I know who you are, Bray. He didn't pull it. It doesn't matter. Who in the blue hell are you? It doesn't matter what your name is. It's The Rock going, I know who you are, Bray Wyatt. I've seen what you've done. He pointed out the magnificence of the Fireflies at WrestleMania. That was a spectacle on its own.
Okay,
that was Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania moment. Having that many people, having that many Fireflies, and leave it to The Rock. To pin Eric Rowan in 6 seconds.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
That's a different story. That was the only negative thing I have to say about it. But the positive thing, give it to The Rock to turn the Wyatt family face. Because the next night on Raw, after the League of Nations, out of the blue, quote, kicking out Wade Barrett.
We know what's really going on.
Yeah, we know what's really going on backstage. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Because, kayfabe. We get the Wyatt family coming in to take out the League of Nations, a feud which I actually talked about in the past, which I thought was going to be a WrestleMania match. But you know what? Better late than never.
True.
And we got a huge huge applause from the crowd chanting, "Thank you, Wyatt." So now we have a nice, fresh face turn for the Wyatt family, and now a great feud of the League of Nations, 2 former world champions and Rusev versus the Wyatt family.
I know that you're not wrong, but still, I don't know. It just came out. 2 former world champions and Rusev.
But what's funny is, Rusev put out a tweet today saying he beat up Stone Cold for about a minute, and you know what? When you look back at the actual fight, he kind of did. That's it.
We'll give Rusev his one.
Rusev get WrestleMania moment.
Get WrestleMania moment beating up Stone Cold for a minute before they turn the tables and beat the. He takes the stunner like a champion.
Yes, him and Woods. They both took magnificent stunners.
Mm-hmm. And Barrett didn't do a bad job taking the stunner either.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, back to Bray Wyatt. Yeah. Now we have a new, fresh start for the Wyatt family. I dropped something.
Anyway.
And now we get to see where the Wyatts go from here. And hopefully, as we've said it before plenty of times, hopefully this will lead to some kind of gold for the family.
And you know what? It looks promising right now, and right now, that's good enough for me.
And that's those 3 are the only highlights that came out of WrestleMania. And like I said, I'm just, once again, going back to Scully's, this is my worst event of the year. Because it's impossible for me to be so upset with a WrestleMania. And the fact that it actually made me walk out on it hurts it to an extent. And me giving it a peach fuzz was the most generous thing, because I was borderline clean shaven on that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Raw somewhat made up for it, but it's still the fact that we actually had to go through it, and it hurt. It hurt a lot. For a WrestleMania to get these slow grades, it hurts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you know what? I think we went on explicit detail as far as what we thought of the whole WrestleMania weekend.
Not bad for an hour.
We go on and on, I know that much.
Damn right.
But you know what? We also want to know what you think as well. So, of course, let us know through all the usual mediums. Leave us a comment on this video. Subscribe if you want to see more, or just leave us a like, whichever. Show us a little bit of love. You can also like our page on Facebook. Just look for the Scholars of Wrestling Show. And you can also follow us on Twitter. You can get random thoughts, randomness, or get...
Nice.
I'm just following here. And you can also get live tweets of Raws, SmackDowns, pay-per-views, definitely, whatever we feel like watching that particular day. You can follow us on our main Twitter feed at ScholarsOW for all the latest episode highlights. You can follow me at I'm Robbie Rage. Fool.
I'm at the Avatar.
And Brian.
Atomic Beanpole.
Atomic Beanpole.
I really want to know if people think we're crazy. Did they like WrestleMania? Did they hate it just as much as we do?
Let us know.
I want to know.
Let us know. You know why? Because we are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome. We still want Sandow.
We still want Sandow.
We will always want Sandow.